decided to speak with Matt.
So I'm on my way to speak with a gentleman named Ron.
Hey, everyone. Welcome back to another fun-filled podcast adventure. Hooray. My name's Midnight Mike. Some people just call me M. Night. Cratchit is over there on screen, yes.
I believe he settled on M. Dog.
M. Dog, yeah, M. Dog. I can see that. That works. But M. Night's pretty good. That's pretty cool. It's like, hey, it's nighttime. Hey.
You're going to get sued.
Joe's over there, too. People know him better as J-Bone.
Go back to work.
You're not going to drop it.
Better known as J-Bone. Come in here. He's in the house today. Yeah, we had no show on Saturday. People probably noticed. I got a few messages, even though I told them not to message me. They did message me anyways. I put out a statement on Instagram and Twitter to let people know in the Discord. I should have let people know in the Patreon, but messages still came in. And I was very assertive in my message, and it was my takeoff on Ringo Starr and his message to all his fans. So this is what Ringo said.
This is a serious message to everybody watching my update right now. Peace and love, peace and love. I want to tell you, please, after the 20th of October, do not send fan mail to any address that you have. Nothing will be signed after the 20th of October. If that has a date on the envelope, it's going to be tossed. I'm warning you with peace and love, but I have too much to do. So no more fan mail. Thank you. And no objects to be signed. Nothing. Anyway, peace and love, peace and love.
There you go. Okay, yeah. Little Ringo Starr coming at you. Now, Joe, before the show, asked, hey, Mike, you got a generator. Why didn't you plug that thing in? Joe is basically, I got ready for the show. I was here early. Why couldn't you? Well, my generator had a dead battery. You need a battery, it turns out, to start a generator. And I didn't have that. It was dead. So what are you going to do?
So you're saying you're well prepared for any inclement weather?
Well, I was telling my wife I am horribly unprepared, and so I need to order some batteries for this generator. I need to really practice my emergency preparation skills, my checklist, all that stuff. I take it all for granted, and I need to do a better job.
Yes.
Do you even have like a bow staff within reach? Because, I mean, you should. You never know when you might need that.
I do not have a bow staff yet. I was in the Discord last week asking for recommendations for a quality bow staff, and I did get a few recommendations, so thank you for the Discord people. Really big thanks. I looked at some. Like, we're talking about like $150 bow staff, which is essentially like a glorified walking stick, which I will take. It looked dynamite. And, yeah, so thank you for that. But no, to answer your question, Christian, I do not have a bow staff within reach right now. Which
I don't think you're prepared for much anything.
Probably not, no. There was horrible windstorms that came through Ohio, took out power and to much of central Ohio for quite a number of hours. Mine lasted just over a day, so. But safe and sound, trees are down, but I'm fine, and we have a lot of work to do. Are you guys
were you at least able to enjoy some Fox and Sons coffee during your power?
I certainly was. Even though our neighbors, those suckers, they have electric coffee machines. No, we have propane over here, and I was able to start the stove just fine for some fresh Fox and Sons coffee for just such an occasion when the power's out and the mood is down. Nothing lifts you up a little bit like Fox and Sons coffee.
Shoehorn that one in there. By the way, I did hear from Steve. He said They're changing their shipping policies in April. So if you want free shipping, order before April 1st.
Yeah, no white people. No, we're not shipping to white people anymore.
Damn it. I was trying to dance around that, but thanks for ruining it. And be sure to use code OBDM so he knows where you're coming from for, I think it's 10%, maybe 15% off. Or code PISS if you want to just be cheeky about it. Yeah. Because both work.
Mm-hmm. We're that important. Yep. I think there's no better way to start the show than I think we got to do this to kind of ease into this. Here we go. Little Alex Jones Clips of the Week.
It's the only reason I'm here.
Yeah.
It's bullshit.
No, we love it. And we love it so much, we are going to play it right now. Alex Jones, this is from Thursday the 12th. Here we go.
Bomb, 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 Iran. It's all so funny. It's all so cute. Sleeper cell operative kills a bunch of people in downtown Austin. He talks like a fag. I don't want to hurt anybody. I just want a Big Mac and weed. I'm not going to do it. But fine. $4,000. I'll kidnap her. I'm not going to do it. I don't even want to have a gun. Look at you wear your big boy pants. Mommy, wow, I'm a big boy now. No, don't give me information. See, I study academic, geopolitical, energy, farming, military, telecommunications, sociology, anthropology, archaeology. These are smart talk show hosts. We are now deep into World War IV. What the hell is that? Yay! They killed us. You can do it. You're big boys.
Wow. So many great ones in there. Wow.
Yeah, and Jix did use, I think he used my edit version of that guidance counselor listing there. The original one had a whole bunch of like AJ pauses in it for dramatic effect, which don't come over well in audio.
I love that he did a retake, a reboot of this one.
I just want some weed and a hamburger. I don't want a kidnapper. I just want weed. Can I just have some weed?
Love it.
I liked him shoehorning the Austin shooter into the Bomb Iran song, where it clearly didn't even come close to fitting in there.
Yeah, he tried. That's the risk you take when you start to improv, and it can lead into magnificent, wonderful directions, but it also can crash and burn. Oftentimes, he does a great job, but when it comes to singing, it's not where his strong suits are. And that's not it. But we'd like to hear it anyways. We're going to go to Friday. Here we go.
And how are we doing in that pissing contest right now? I mean, you're talking about World War Z. Let's open this up and see who this is to. What the hell, Joe? Stop peeing on me and telling me it's raining. Please? That's going to be big. Because Joe did a great job interviewing him. But I think I'm going to do a better job because I know more on that subject.
By the way, AJ was on Jimmy Dore, and he was kind of all over the place. He did not want to have, he like at times he did not want to engage. It was very interesting.
Same thing. I watched a little bit of AJ on Tim Pool, and it appeared AJ was drinking again. He was all out of sorts. And this is what happens. Like, I know people try to send us clips like, oh, you got to check out what Alex said on Jimmy Dore or Tim Pool. Those aren't the clips that I want. That's Alex Jones really performing. He's putting himself out there. He doesn't feel he has to hold down the show. So he gets a little bit more rambunctious, and he will say salacious things. To me, that's not pure Alex Jones. That's not what I'm looking for Alex Jones Clips of the Week. Him on his radio show, when he has 4 hours to kill, that's the best. Mm-hmm. He will just say wacky stuff on other people's shows. That gets attention. He wants eyeballs on his show, so that's what he does. Oh boy. You guys have anything to say about those clips? Because that's all we have of Alex Jones Clips of the Week today.
He needs to go back to work.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Go back to work.
But I think that is coming to a close here soon. I think on Tim Pool, he said
April 15th.
April 15th? Is that tax day? No, it's April.
That is
4th.
tax day.
Is it really?
Tax day.
Wow. 15th. They're shutting them down on tax day.
So the question is, does the Infowars name live on? Does he just go to alexjonesshow.com or something like that? I mean, what does he pivot to? Or in your suggestion, data battles?
I don't know.
What's going on here?
We're trying to figure out what's going on here. I think he's got to pivot in some way. They can't take his name. He said, I don't think so.
Also try.
Yeah, I think they probably tried. It probably will be the Alex Jones Show or the Alex Jones Experience, something like that. And you will continue on. It is an experience.
What was the one when Conan O'Brien got into that spat with, was it ABC, NBC, whatever channel he was on, and they got into a big pissing match, and he wasn't able to use the name Conan O'Brien Show or something like that?
I think that was so what happened there, they gave Conan O'Brien the Jay Leno, Johnny Carson Tonight Show. They gave it to him for about 3 months, and then they pulled the rug out from underneath of him because they felt they weren't getting the ratings. Although they had him under contract, so I think they essentially gave Conan $40 million to walk away so they could rehire Jay. But the stipulation was, I don't think they could use his Conan O'Brien name or how it was phrased with NBC. And
right, so he went on a comedy tour, and it was like the legally prohibited from being on the Conan O'Brien Show or something like. So he had a way around that to kind of poke fun at it. So AJ could do something similar just to kind of poke the bear on that one.
Yeah,
I have to do it.
I would agree with you.
Yeah, I would agree. He's going to take a long time to get that $1.5 billion paid off. But here's hoping you do it. We hope that you can get that 1.5.
He's real close.
He's never been closer, right, Cratchit? Well, there's been a lot of news. I haven't touched on paranormal, let alone cryptid topics in quite a while. And if you have read the title of this podcast, I'm going to be talking about Bigfoot, Ohio. There's been a lot of things going on here. Some wacky stuff going on in Ohio, and I'm going to try to talk about it all right now. Stay tuned. I know what people are thinking. Mike, isn't Monster May right around the corner? And it is. Uh-oh. But this story is relevant. This happened just like northeast of where I grew up, just probably southeast of where Joe grew up. And there's been a lot of activity in the...
It's a lot of directions. I got to... south of you, but...
Well, south of Joe, north of me, so we meet in the middle. Joe grew up pretty much, you can just say Cleveland, but I think he grew up actually grew up in Menor.
Yeah, how many people are involved in these directions?
Wait, where'd you grow up?
It was Grafton.
Grafton, Ohio? Really? That shithole?
I know.
Oh, man. I didn't know it was that bad for you.
It's,
says on their signs.
20,000 was the population, I think.
Wow.
They have one stoplight. And I think, wasn't it the last show we talked about getting a Hardee's? And it was whoa.
Well,
and then somebody took a shit in the fryer at that Hardee's, and they closed it down, and it turned into a Mexican place that looked like a Hardee's.
They closed down after one shit in the fryer. That's it.
That rumor in a small town can cost a business.
Yeah, I guess you're right. People don't like that.
But they were okay with it when it reopened as a different restaurant.
Oh yeah, they cleaned out the fryers.
We assume.
First time ever.
Well, here's the headline here up for everyone. Bigfoot roaming Portage County, Ohio. Several reported sightings within days. So this is you get like some reports like, oh, a person saw a Bigfoot outside of a gym in Asheville, or they saw the Ohio grass man down in Hocking Hills. It's sporadic. Even I had my own Bigfoot howl story a few months ago, but several sightings within a short period of time. Quite noticeable, even for Fox News, this comes out of Fox 8 out of Northeast Ohio. Let's see if I can play this right now. We'll listen to what they have to say when they report this on local news. I bet they're going to take it serious. As long as I can boot it up. Come on, let's boot it up. Let's load it up, guys. Load it up.
It's normal for there to be Bigfoot sightings.
Hold on a second. They're playing this out of one side. Again, mono. Okay. Here we go.
All over the U.S., but it's not normal to have multiple sightings in a small area within a short number of days.
Multiple sightings of a massive creature reported in Portage County heading into Trumbull.
It's a hair-covered creature. It's on two legs. It's not walking like a bear. It's walking like a human would.
Half a dozen sightings in a few short days, reported to Jeremiah Byron, host of the Bigfoot Society podcast, who's interviewed over 1,000 people on the subject and says these accounts seem sincere.
They're shook up. They're very emotional, and they're like, I just want to stay anonymous.
Starting on March 6th in Manawa Center, then Garrettsville.
Anonymous individual and his friend, and they were hiking on the Headwaters Trail, and they saw a 10-foot tall Sasquatch. When it was grunting at them, it turned its head, but it had to turn its head at the shoulders and not the neck, which is a very important detail that hardcore Bigfooters will realize that that's pretty crazy.
An older woman in Windham also saw something on the 9th.
She's a skeptic. She doesn't believe in Bigfoot.
Followed by a terrifying encounter in Newton Township for a man taking his dog out at 4 a.m.
The gentleman looks out there, and he sees a large, black, shadowy figure out in the tree line, and it's about 9 to 10 feet tall. The dog couldn't stop shaking.
Did they get pictures? Did they get video?
These individuals were out doing activities or in their backyard. They weren't out with cameras ready, and these happened. These are very short encounters, few seconds. This hasn't happened since like the 1970s, to be honest.
In Minerva, Ohio, August 1978, it became known as the Minerva Monster, terrorizing a family with multiple witnesses, even Stark County Sheriff's deputies responding and documenting the case, with few answers to this day, just like now, says Jeremiah. So what do you think is going on here? What do you think this is?
So it's a great question. You know, what is going on here? The Bigfoot community is extremely excited because we thought that we would never live through anything like this again, where there's a massive amount of sightings in such a short amount of time.
In Portage County, Suzanne Stratford, Fox 8 News.
There you go. That guy got a huge plug for his podcast from Fox 8 Digital, Fox 8 News out there. And yeah, quite extraordinary, the number of events that happen in a short period of time. And I don't remember a flap like this recently, but I decided to go back and take a look at some historical paranormal events to see if anything else like this happened in that neck of the woods within recent times. And there's quite a few paranormal events that have happened out there in Portage County. And that's, for anybody who doesn't know, I mean, I know we don't know each other's states that well, but you might be familiar with Akron, the Rubber Bowl. So there's Akron. That's where LeBron James is from. And so Portage is about 45 minutes, maybe a half hour northeast of that. Then you have Kent, Ohio. And then you have, just to the north of Kent, you have Cleveland, Ohio. So it's all kind of right around in that area, and there's been a lot of sightings. So let's see if I can bring up, I created a map, a very interesting map with ChatGPT that I'm going to show everyone right now. Let's see here. Where's my Bigfoot map? Yeah, right there. There it is. Okay. So I'll bring this up on screen. See if I can reduce the size of this thing. There we go. So that's kind of what we're looking at right here. Here's the map. So I'm going to go over some of the weirder things that have happened in this area. So they talked about the Minerva Monster, I believe, Small Town Monsters, a documentary film company, also based out of Ohio in Canton. They did a whole movie on the Minerva Monster. But going back to this neck of the woods, you will see a lot of paranormal activity. This is just Northeast Ohio. So in 1973, near Kent, as for some other weird things that have happened up there, a driver on Route 76 near Kent reported flashing lights, pacing his car, then a football-shaped object overhead flashing red, blue, and white lights. He said a small silver humanoid descended onto the roadway, stood rigidly, looked into his windshield, then rose back up into the crowd. The witness estimated it to be about 2.5 feet tall, so a small little critter, small guy. That's all the description says. The figure lacked any sort of visible hair, any ears, and had a narrow mouth and a small pointed chin. So you could say maybe that was a typical gray from 1973 in Kent, Ohio, right around where these new Bigfoot sightings happened. Don't know. But then we have some more sightings. There was also something in Monroe Falls, which is also near Kent. It's to, I would say, just west of where these most recent Bigfoot sightings occurred. This is back in 76. Another roadway encounter, a witness driving home from work reported an orange-red cone-shaped object hovering over a field, then saw 4 or 5 small beings in the road. He claimed that he struck one, smelled a strong metallic brass-like odor, then saw the others clustered around it. Later, he reported dents and scratches on his bumper. I doubt they're paying for that, though. It's probably not insured. But as for other like Bigfoot-type encounters or sightings in this neck of the woods, a Bigfoot field report says that near Newton Falls and Ravenna, Joe probably knows Ravenna. The witness,
I know the name.
Yeah, you know Ravenna. Witness says around 2:30 a.m. while turning into Newton Falls, his headlights caught a large, broad figure by a fence. He described it slightly taller than the fence line and standing on federal land next to a heavily wooded zoned area. And that's all. It's a fleeting glimpse of this beast in 1986. And another one from Ravenna from 2009 and up to 2012. There was an ongoing Bigfoot-style activity going on in those 3 years that describes a family hearing repeated whoops and high-pitched screams and howls and finding 14 to 15-inch footprints outside one of their buildings. But that's it, just sounds and trace evidence of this big, giant, hairy monster. And there's other sightings from 1994 and 1962, but nothing quite like the flap that was just described in that Fox News report. And I looked around for other weird, anomalous events. Typically, at least in Pennsylvania, when there's Bigfoot sightings, you'll have reports of UFOs before or soon thereafter. But I didn't find anything within the past 14 days of UFO sightings in Portage County or anything like that. The only anomalous thing that did happen was that there was a big explosion over Cleveland. Some people were saying it was a sonic boom. Some people were saying it was a secret weapons test or something like that. I didn't know about it until Sam Tripoli told me on doom scrolling and asked me if I knew what it was. But we looked into it, and apparently there was a big meteor that exploded just over, I would say just outside and over Cleveland. It was a tremendous force. I'll see if I can bring that up here.
It wasn't a meteor. That was just Cleveland's economy crashing again.
Oh, well, okay. Well, it continues to do that over and over again. Who can tell? And so I'll bring this up. So this is a bit anomalous. So yeah, a 7-ton meteor that fell from the Cleveland sky could be seen several states away. So this is the only other weird thing that has happened in recent days. So yeah, a 7-ton meteor that sped across the Cleveland sky at 45,000 miles per hour. on Tuesday before breaking apart in a thunderous boom and startling residents who feared an explosion. People say several states away reported seeing a bright fireball, even though it was 9 a.m. The American Meteor Society said it received reports from Wisconsin to Maryland. NASA later confirmed that it was a meteor nearly 6 feet in diameter. Wow. So that's basically what, a couple Ryan Reynolds in diameter at that point?
No, like one.
One Ryan Reynolds in diameter.
Feet.
Okay. Yeah, in diameter. Okay, yeah, you're right. Just fold them over. But then there was
you could say if you wanted to complicate it, you could say it's two halves of Ryan Reynolds.
Okay, yeah, taped together in some way with duct tape or something.
So
like
if you
that.
half Ryan Reynolds into the 3 foot he is,
but now I can picture it in the sky.
Right. Visualize this.
Yeah, it was a 7-ton Ryan Reynolds shaped rock falling to Earth, almost taking out a city. And there was something similar, I think, that happened over Dallas. So we might be going through a little meteor shower or something like that. But I decided to make note of this. Not that I think that's that important to this story, but I put it up on screen. Here's the meteor shower where the meteor exploded. All the Bigfoot sightings marked the most recent ones, and then the alien sightings near Kent. A lot of activity over there in the Portage County recently. So just make a note of that. Don't know if there's any correlation. It just seems like a lot of activity up there. So, let's see what else. Do I have anything? I do have one other piece of Bigfoot news.
Wait, what's the meteor have to do with Bigfoot?
It's just an anomalous news event that happened to happen. When I was looking for UFO news, there was no UFO sightings, no silver objects in the sky over this part of Ohio. And this is the only other anomalous sky event that I found, which was a meteor exploding in the sky. There's absolutely no correlation at all, just a weird news event. No connection, Cretch, is what I'm trying to say. No connection. That I know.
Oh, I thought you were going to say that, like, oftentimes, because we do have an association of UFO spottings and Bigfoots, big feets, big footies. So I thought you were going to say, well, maybe there's something about now meteors being spotted, potentially leading to Bigfoot.
Not unless it wasn't a meteor and it was a UFO that exploded. That's it. I mean, that's the only other explanation. Was it? Did we shoot that thing down, or do these things? Out. Yeah, or do these things just explode all the time, which is a possibility? They're just constantly blowing up in the sky. I'll take.
Here comes a Bigfoot.
Here comes a Bigfoot.
Does Bigfoot have a parachute on, or is he just naturally able to survive that?
Of course, he has a Bigfoot. Don't be silly.
I don't know. Still trying to get pictures of Ryan Reynolds as a meteor.
Fair enough.
Which is not where I got this one, but it's not great. So.
Let me see that. That's pretty good. I kind of like those. You have two Ryan Reynolds basically stitched together.
Yeah, you know how tough it is to try to trick AI into saying, like, I got two, but they're taped back together?
Yeah, okay.
Oh.
Yeah, fair enough. There, just another piece of Bigfoot news out there. There is a new Bigfoot documentary that has come out. I don't think it's available for streaming just yet. It is being premiered at South by Southwest, and this is taking the stance that the original Patterson-Gimlin film was a hoax. That this person seemed to have acquired some new piece of footage, some test footage possibly, that calls into question these guys' motives. And I don't think he's outright calling them hoaxers, at least not in the interviews that I've seen, but he's certainly heavily implying that those guys were up to shenanigans 60 years ago with that footage. So I'll watch it when it comes out.
I have an article on that if you want to drop through that real quick.
Yeah, we'll read through it real quick before I cover the rest of my news.
Because I think it is tied to South by Southwest, which is going on now or last week or something. But a lot of the complaints on this is not a lot of this information is necessarily new. and it's not being presented in a way that is above board. I have not seen said documentary nor read into it, but it's just kind of some of the shots across the bow at it, I suppose.
Yeah, I've only seen a brief interview with the filmmaker. So yeah, here's the headline here. All the details in one place. New doc shows the Patterson-Gimlin Bigfoot film was hoaxed. And yeah, by now you probably heard of the new documentary Capturing Bigfoot, which premiered last week at South by Southwest, has revealed that the famous Patterson-Gimlin Bigfoot film of 1967 was hoaxed. Revealed is perhaps too strong of a word. It's been known beyond any reasonable doubt basically since the very beginning. I don't know about that. Let's see here. Capturing Bigfoot is not yet publicly available, but a lot of people saw the premiere in Austin, including my friend Angie, and many of them wrote up its findings, including Ben Radford for Skeptical Inquirer. I've collected them all for you, so here, you don't have to see the film. Here's just a general timeline. The film was largely driven by the public discovery of the rest of the film. The other footage Patterson took besides just the short clip that he released and has become well known for. Skeptics have always wanted to see this. Second bullet point. The film shows the rehearsal footage that everyone suspected must exist. It had been in the possession of Norm Johnson, a film technician who kept it locked away at the insistence of his wife. When Johnson died in 2024, the reel was given to Mark Evans, who then made his new documentary. Well, if this is such damning evidence, why wasn't it released before? But he said, but upon seeing it, Clint Patterson, 66, son of Roger Patterson, decided he had had enough and revealed all to Evans on camera. So there you go. The son of the original guy, Patterson, is claiming it's all fake, it's all phony, it's all baloney, and there's nothing more to see here. It is the Bigfoot is case closed. That's it. So time to move on. So
you know what? This is all phony. This is all baloney.
Baloney.
That's what a lot of people. I watched the interview with this guy. A lot of people in the comments are saying, "Oh, all you Bigfoot fanboys, you just can't accept that this is one big giant hoax, and you have fallen for it, and you just refuse to give up on it." And I would say, it's quite possible that this footage is a hoax, that 16 millimeter film, but it doesn't discount the hundreds, if not thousands, of stories and personal experiences that people have had, even just going back to all the Native American accounts. It doesn't discount those. There's obviously some weird, hairy thing that interacts with mankind every now and again. And it could be, I would imagine, that these guys, Patterson and Gimlin, got together, heard these stories, and say, hey, let's just shoot a video. Let's just shoot a film and see if we can sell it. The stories are real. They just
sell it. They did,
and yeah, they just sold it. I can see that. It's $1 billion industry. There's Bigfoot magnets at pretty much every gas station you go to now. It's a huge economy of just around the Bigfoot name, the image. So, yeah, I can buy that the footage is a hoax. Sure.
I believe also the Bigfoot from the Patterson-Gimlin film, that very iconic silhouette of Bigfoot kind of walking with its head turned towards the camera sort of thing. That is now an official emoji being added to the ASCII library. So you'll start seeing that on all sorts of text messages.
It's a made-up tale.
Yeah.
It's a total fabrication.
Image here of Bigfoot bailing out of his crashing UFO.
Yep, that's exactly how I pictured it. Old school parachute. You got to get out. Probably a German U-boat just shot you down.
A U-boat.
Yeah. It's what I'm picturing. That's the movie I'm writing in my head.
See the mechanics of how that works, but
especially in the mountains of West Virginia. It's tough to do, but they can do it. Those Germans are crafty. Oh, I got one more piece of news for everyone out there, and a little teaser for Saturday. The little missing 411 teaser. Some missing people out there. I'll get to that. But this is curious, considering there's been a lot of speculation whether or not Trump is going to talk about UFOs and aliens. He already signed, I don't know if he signed, but he went on True Social and declared that, hey, you know what? Release all those alien files, all the UAP files. Get it done. And, you know, when Trump speaks, you know, people jump into action. So we haven't got many documents. There's been no new revelations, really. But there's been a curious domain registered. So the executive office of the president registered the domain aliens.gov. So that's interesting, yes. The government registers alien.gov domain.
Alien or aliens?
Aliens. Like there's multiple of these things out there that they want to.
Man, I really hope that just redirects to like Homeland Security or something.
I mean, so it's not just one alien. There's multiple.
2? Maybe 4?
Yeah, so let's see here. Can I read anything in this article? No. I have to sign up. I have to subscribe to this. I've been almost 404 at 404media.co.
You just got paywalled, sir.
I just got paywalled. I got subscribable.
Which article is this? I'm trying to find it in your list.
I'm going to archive this mother. Hold on there. Hold on there, C-Note. I think I got this.
You think Trump's on the other end hacking you back?
Probably. Trump's hacked me. Here it is. Yeah. Government registers alien.gov domain. The executive office of the president registered the domain aliens.gov on Wednesday. That's today at 6:30 a.m. So someone woke up out of their drunken stupor. It's like, I got to register this domain right now.
I need that domain.
According,
actually, it was probably Trump.
Probably he doesn't
notoriously
sleep.
Doesn't sleep much.
Yeah. According to a bot that monitors federal domains. There is no associated website just yet, but the registration comes a month after Trump said he would direct the government to release files related to aliens and UFOs to the public. Aliens and UFOs, now often called unidentified aerial phenomena, have been the hot topic of news over the last few years. Senator Chuck Schumer has pushed for declassification of government reports about strange lights in the sky. Blink-182 frontman Tom DeLonge, who's also associated with the To the Stars Academy initiative, released Pentagon footage of strange objects seen by Navy pilots. And Congress has been holding repeated hearings in an attempt to get to the bottom of the phenomenon. Okay. So this is an article when it really could have just been one paragraph. Say the government registered this domain. Can any government agency, can they register a .gov website, or do they have? Is this an executive order? Like who manages? Like, oh, we need a new website, so we're gonna get the .gov. I don't know how that works.
I'm sure it's controlled by some. You know, is it CISA? Who's the group who runs that?
I think it might be. I think it might be CISA.
During the Obama administration, they were going to give away all that stuff from what was the NetCan or whatever they were giving it to the UN or some crap, and it was a whole bunch of.
Oh yeah, we were going to basically give over everything to the UN, like all the important addresses and how domain name services work and all that kind of stuff, or something like that. I don't remember, but
yes, it's administered by the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency.
Oh, cool.
Which is part of Homeland Security. So, which is who you want in charge of your
my alien news.
Website.
Okay. Well, I mean, if they registered the domain name, they're probably going to do something with it, I would imagine. I find it hard to believe that government would just register a domain name and not do anything with it. It seems incredibly wasteful.
Well, I have a photographic proof up right now of what they're doing.
So there is Trump registering a domain name. He's probably at Squarespace making a website. So I can see Trump doing it.
He's on Wix right now. Logging into his Canva account.
I'm making an email campaign.
Yeah. I got a plug in here. Goes right to SurveyMonkey. Ask people what's going on.
Huh. We got a lot of milk.
That's
Post that up. Post that up right now. Tell them how much milk we got.
How much milk would you say we have?
We got a lot of milk.
All right. That's enough malarkey for me. We're going to throw it over to Joe right now. Come on.
Oh, boy.
Link and I are cruising the mountain, bro, and we figure we's a little juice.
Who was the fellow last week who was like, it's too political. We're gonna get political.
Okay. Not too political, though. People don't like that, apparently, according to that one guy.
That guy. And then, Mike, you were there was a comment that came in on YouTube, and somebody put the timestamp, like, where's Joe's starts here.
Yes.
You're like, Joe's been on the show the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think you just showed up.
Yeah.
I think people are like, well, you wanted to hear his segment or whatever.
Yeah, I know.
Some people like my segment. Some people hate it.
I was trolling that guy on purpose because.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, I was trolling him on purpose. Like, it's like, there's timestamps in the description with fairly articulated statements about what each timestamp represents. People can skip to it, but if they want to skip over the first half of the show for Joe, that's their right to do so. Everyone has a fast forward button. So he was trolling me. I was trolling him.
Yeah. It's troll fun. And I think, Kretcha, you made the good point of saying, like, current events often is political because it's what's happening. And the polity, which is the civilization, the whole, go back to language and Plato and Aristotle and all this stuff. Like, what did Aristotle do? He gathered a lot of the, formative government documents that are available or were available to sort of figure out which systems were working, which systems weren't. And because everybody was organizing their societies in different ways. So the polity being the general public in an area, these are the things that you talk about that matter. So whatever. What I'm saying is fuck that guy.
Okay. All right.
Language is there for a reason. Events are there to be talked about. I mean, whatever. So this is, for whatever reason, this shouldn't have been political, but it was political. So we're at that anniversary point of the beginning of COVID. And remember the pots and pans banging. But just a quick refresher of what these propagandists thought was going to work. And, like, this is when you knew, like, you were being fucked with. And I got to go shut these fucking dogs up. I'm going to throw them off the goddamn balcony.
Don't do that. You'll miss them. But I'll play this clip. This is what was going on 6 years ago.
He literally just yelled at his dogs.
I think he's yelling at me. For people listening at home, it's just a bunch of nurses dancing.
Correction, Mike, those are heroic healthcare workers.
Oh, yeah, my bad. Yeah, I remember this is during the craze.
These hospitals were so full of just dying people and corpses, jammed into every corner, piles of them in the hallway, refrigerated morgue trucks for all the dead bodies. These nurses,
ventilators, everybody's dying.
That's right. They had to dance.
That's all they could do. It's all they could do is just dance their sadness away.
I have a constant sore throat.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, nice little blast from the past. So again, this is propaganda. When you see this shit, like, by now as adults and you get fooled by it, fuck you, get the fuck off the planet, done. Don't even go to the kids' table. Anyway, this is another one. We talk about this a lot.
That's the kids' table.
The evidence of this obviously has been clear forever, but just more and more, they're like, Yeah, we kind of were doing that. Like we talked about it with the Texas flooding. Like it was a hearing where they brought it up, and Marjorie Taylor Greene even brought it up, where it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. So you had people doing weather modification 3 days before a storm surge drowned a bunch of girls at a camp in Texas. And you're saying that the weather modification had nothing to do with it. No, we did that like 3 days earlier.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Oopsie daisy.
Is this to the CIA docs? Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, did you see this one go by?
Yeah, I have the actual document. Also, just to remind people, it's an easy one to remember. Operation Popeye. It's on Wikipedia. Look it up. 1966, I think.
Yeah, play this.
Oh, you believe the government controls the weather? How many times did I hear that all throughout the 2000s, 2010s? Like, I won't be expecting an apology.
Here's, I'll play. Want to play a little bit of this video?
A little bit, just a little bit.
Come on now. Come on now.
Poisoning the sky with toxins as files expose secret weather control agenda. Oh, you don't say, Daily Mail. Wow, this is the first we're all learning about this. You're telling me that planes fly through the air and spray chemicals out that look like contrails but aren't?
Oh,
We
really?
should come up with a term for that. Guys, I think we should come up with a term to describe this. I'm thinking chemtrails. Chemtrail. What do we think? Should we all pretend to go back 50 years to where we didn't hear about this and we're all learning about it right now? Should we all pretend to be as dumb as the normies out there that believe the lies that are told to them? So, okay, crazy. That's a crazy thing to just admit casually in a mainstream media Daily Mail article, but there it is. Once top secret CIA files have detailed America's plan to control the world by manipulating the weather.
The nurses dancing and everything, it's like when that started happening, and after 2 weeks I was like, all right, something's up. And the chemtrails thing, it's like, it's like you can only lie. Like I don't know how for whatever reason, enough people are stupid to the point that they will shame you for pointing out how full of shit these people are.
Well, what I see that's interesting here to me is this is yet another CIA story about something that we've all known for a while, and now it's being brought back out again.
You want to thrust this theory on?
It's not a theory. I am noticing a pattern. I'm just noticing a pattern here.
Dumbass.
I mean, it's happened throughout, like MK Ultra, like the church committee. Like at some point, like people are like they take more. There's more scrutiny pointed at the CIA, and yeah, you're probably right. I don't think there's anything bigger than people going, "Wait, what was that?" You know what I mean? Especially after COVID and everything, like people are going like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 COVID." Anyway, here's another one. It's small, but it's related to the topics I'm probably going to get into here, or I'm going to get in here in a minute. But there's a war going on. I'm not sure if you heard about this. Not a war. It's not a war.
I've heard rumbles.
Excursion is what Trump said. Yeah, it's a little riff.
Here we go.
The U.S. economy is fundamentally sound, and that if it were to be extended, it wouldn't really disrupt the U.S. economy very much at all. It would hurt consumers, and we'd have to think about, if that continued, what we would have to do about that. But that's like really the last of our concerns right now, because we're very confident that this thing is going ahead of schedule.
Barely an
U.S.
inconvenience.
economy is fundamentally sound,
Yeah.
and that
barely an inconvenience is what he's saying.
Yeah. You're broke. You can't afford gas. You're all getting fired. It's hopeless for you, but we're about to win this thing.
Yeah. We're turning the corner.
Let's do it.
Oh, my God. So the other thing that's been going on is obviously Candace and Charlie and Israel. And yes, it's all connected. I know it's hard to believe, but everything is connected. And that's the thing that is most daunting to the normies, is that wait. So the weather control and the COVID and the Israel and the Charlie Kirk and the, all of it is all connected. Yes, it is. and the textbooks and Epstein.
Yes.
And it's the Carnegies and controlling the education and the Balfour Declaration and all. Yes, it is. It's all connected. I'm sorry to tell you, and you might have to spend a little time putting the pieces together, but it's all connected. Go for it.
Okay.
Here we go. Let me get this up on screen. There we go. Here we go.
So if Candace Owens decides to slander the widow of Charlie Kirk, I think that people have a moral duty to say that this is a bad thing, even if they are quote-unquote friends with those people. And I find it an act.
But let's take that further. So obviously one should state one's view and say, you know, Erica's great and the attacks on her are not right.
Well, Michael, I'll just ask you straight up. Is Candace Owens doing something evil by attacking Erica Kirk?
I think that it's wrong to attack Erica Kirk.
No, say the sentence with her name in it.
I'm not going to dance like a puppet for the podcast.
You don't have to dance like a puppet, but you are dancing pretty quickly. I mean, there's a lot of tap dancing happening.
I don't think there's any tap dancing.
Even if you aren't interested in the podcast wars, the podcast
and I
wars
think
are
the
interested
people
in
who
you.
are leading the invective against Candace are her biggest publicists.
So if Candace Owens decides to slander...
Okay.
I mean, it's like Ben, his behavior is absolutely, you know, I mean, the guy is shameless. What an asshole, you know? And Michael Knowles, for people who don't know, is the godfather of one of Candace's kids. And they are friends.
Okay.
So Ben is basically saying and he said, you know, Megyn Kelly's a coward and Tucker's a coward and they're all a bunch of, you know, like they're some kind of enemy because they won't, you know, dog on Candace. What's that going to do? And Michael Knowles, you could barely make it out, but because Ben is being such a little pathetic weasel. But he's like, you guys are the best publicists for Candace Owens. And he's right.
They're really promoting him, that's for sure. And if this guy, the guy on the right, top right, if he's the godfather, then he's essentially family to Candace.
Yeah.
You know, at that
they're
point.
Still friends.
Yeah. Yeah, godfather, you're part of the family, so there's a connection there.
And what the hell's the point? Like, if he attacks Candace or doesn't, what's the fucking point? Like, fire him, Ben. If he doesn't do what you want at your bidding, just fire the guy. I'm sure he'd be better off. Like, it's a sinking ship. They're losing money, hemorrhaging viewers. You know, fuck Ben, fuck them. Get the fuck out of here. Nobody wants to listen to your shit. And if you go into Ben Shapiro's comments, whether it's Instagram, whether it's Twitter, like, it's over for this guy.
Well, he can't fire because that would look even more bad. You know, it would be a very bad PR move. What he wants is this guy to bend the knee. He wants him to bend the knee and get on board. He can't fire him, so he'll just try to publicly shame him and make it as uncomfortable for him as possible without being too overt about it.
And that stuff used to work, like, definitely 40 years ago when, like, Pat Buchanan was saying, hey, the Israel lobby's got, like, a lot more power than I think they should. And JFK, obviously, he didn't get away with it for very long. So, but anyway, so they're upset because Candace is looking into what was happening with Charlie Kirk, and for that Joe Kent guy who just resigned, remember, he was the guy who was like, I think we should look around and see if there were, international components attached to this Charlie Kirk assassination, and Kash Patel shut that down. So anyhow, let's return to Charlie Kirk and why all this seems to maybe be connected.
Your taxpayer dollars are going to subsidize pedophile rings. Would you say it's a good idea to use military force to strike potential Iranian nuclear targets? My whole life I've been told that Iran is getting a bomb. Iran is getting a bomb. Iran is getting a bomb. Iran is getting a nuclear bomb. And yet here in 2025, they do not have a nuclear bomb. We push back against the media on COVID, on lockdowns, on Ukraine, on the border, so like maybe we should also ask a question: is the media totally presenting the truth when it comes to Israel? Just a question, that maybe we shouldn't believe everything the media says, because I know I've been conditioned to ask a lot more critical questions over the last couple of years.
One of my great irritations is when people use the third person plural without specifying who they're talking about and say they.
They were wrong about Iraq. They were wrong about Syria. They were wrong about Afghanistan. They were wrong about the Taliban. They were wrong about Libya. They were wrong about the Arab Spring. They were wrong about Yemen. They were wrong about the Arabian Peninsula. They were wrong about the 9/11 hijackers being Saudi Arabian. But hey, 10 times the charm.
I don't know, Ben.
This time we're actually right. Yeah, you're going to have to earn our trust on this one.
Yeah.
I really liked that background music. It was awesome. It was.
Were they on a propeller plane? What was going on?
No, they're just vacuuming in the background, Cratch. They just run it. They're just doing their vacuuming while they're editing.
Have a blender going and some guy driving by on a moped at the same time?
I guess so.
The cat was standing on a synthesizer key. You'll love this next one then, because it has a lot of little background music. But I guess in this case, it's somewhat appropriate. But again, talked about it several times already on the show. But why is it this guy? Why did he have to go? And this is why the Candace thing, the Ben Shapiro thing, the whole Charlie Kirk, Israel, Iran, all of it, the confluence of it all. So this is a guy who, he commanded millions of people just by his words, peacefully, rationally, logically presenting facts and arguments and the beliefs he was coming to as he grew into adulthood.
Because you are part of something bigger than yourself. You know that you are part of the most exciting, diverse, powerful movement in the history of this country. And this movement is not about Republican or Democrat.
Yeah, right.
This movement is not about conservative or liberal. And I think you're going to see that on display in a little bit. Just maybe.
Yes.
This movement is about the citizens versus the oligarchs. This movement is about we the people versus the ruling class. This movement is about America versus the globalists. This movement is about all of us against them.
Oh boy. What? Oh, he said the pronoun.
Yeah. So then these two are just going to sort of reiterate the point I've been making, but in a much more intellectual and smart way. So this is Bret Weinstein, who is a biologist, but obviously one of those people who got rattled out of polite society by being racist and not wanting to participate on the in the blacks only day at the school where he was teaching. If you remember,
Oh yeah, I remember. He got ran out of there. I just saw him on the Danny Jones podcast. He went over the story.
Yeah, he was just on the Danny Jones podcast, but he got so shaken out of he was like a big lefty and everything, and he wasn't left enough, and they called him a racist, and he was like, I'm out. And so obviously it's one of those things where he's kind of gotten bigger than ever. But he sat down with Tucker, and I found this interesting because I didn't realize him and Charlie Kirk had been in touch.
Okay, let's take a listen.
I feel, and I cannot say for sure, but I feel that something was watching, and it felt the clock ticking and its opportunity to finally bring about this war, which I think Netanyahu said he's been dreaming of for 40 years.
He did say that.
So something wanted this war to happen, and there was the perception that the opportunity, the window was closing, so it had to be brought about quickly. Given how public Charlie was on this topic, I can't help but wonder. Now, obviously that will sound crazy to many people, that something would have even considered such a thing. But I will say that after Charlie was killed, Benjamin Netanyahu very quickly denied responsibility for it. I was shocked by this. It did not seem natural. Now, I'm not saying that that means that anything in that quadrant was responsible for the murder. All I know is that we didn't get a decent investigation. But I did feel, and maybe I hope you will tell me that I'm imagining this. I did feel that denial by Netanyahu was effectively a Rorschach test and maybe designed to be one. That I was supposed to feel alarmed by this, and a normal person was supposed to think, that is batshit crazy. He said they didn't do it. Obviously they didn't do it. So anyway, I'm not telling you that I see the evidence that somebody did it, but what I am telling you is we've just found ourselves in a war that Charlie would have been opposed to. We know that from his public and private statements, and that he would have been a formidable force in opposition. So what am I to think? Why? At least we should have an investigation that tells us for sure that we know who committed the crime and that there wasn't something larger about it. But look, now I've said unforgivable things. It's done.
I don't know why that's unforgivable. I mean, this is an American citizen, someone you knew. So you're not accusing anyone of anything.
What he kind of does, and what we're seeing from Turning Point and even Trump now, and I even mentioned on the show, a lot of people are familiar with Netanyahu comes out and says, I didn't do it. And then Trump, like right after Charlie Kirk is dead, has got a Charlie Kirk and Trump and Netanyahu like three-waying Israel flag or something, whatever the hell it was. I have to look it up. But it was so, AI and stupid. It was like, what? Why are you doing this? Anyhow, there's a midterm thing going on. So you got to use Charlie to your advantage. So this guy, I mean, I'm not I have no affinity for this presenter, but he does speak it so that we don't have to read it.
Okay, let's take a look at this guy.
People currently running Turning Point hate Charlie Kirk because I don't know how else you would explain why they still have this up on their Twitter feed right now. Look at this bullshit propaganda. It says Trump pumps up rural Kentucky voters at massive rally featuring Jake Paul to stop the rhino Massie. But when Charlie Kirk was alive, he was tweeting things like this. He was saying, one of my favorite congressmen, Thomas Massie, and he was also having him on his podcast like this.
So we can stop it there.
And one of the members of that new church.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is kind of the same clip. But yeah, this is the evidence, all of the evidence you need that Thomas Massie is some rhino that Charlie Kirk would have opposed.
Okay.
Exciting developments from last week's negotiations is the new church committee. And one of the members of that new church committee is one of my favorite members of Congress. He loves the Constitution. He loves liberty. He's honest and he's tough, and he's going to really go after the intel agencies. It's Thomas Massie, who's just terrific from Kentucky. Congressman Massie, welcome to the program.
Hey, thanks for having me on, Charlie.
There's Chuck Massie.
Yeah. And so I don't know. So, okay. So what he's talking about with the new church committee there is Massie and Ro Khanna getting fired up, and this is at the origins of the Epstein stuff, where, ultimately, why did they not want Thomas Massie to get reelected? Is because he doesn't take any money from Israel, and he's been pushing the Epstein thing. Got to get that guy out of there. He's a rhino. What? Okay.
He sounds like I don't know if he was moderate or whatever, but at least he cares about the topics that were originally talked about, 2 years ago.
Yeah. Anyhow, this next one is Stu Peters. Again, kind of rolling back the tape. Like, is this what Charlie would have wanted? What would Charlie be doing now?
the Instagram clip. Here we go.
Charlie Kirk was about to, quote unquote, go ballistic over Trump's Epstein ties and over the forever wars. And he was going to do that on college campuses all over the United States. And he was going to be face-to-face in person with college-age Zoomers who hang on his every word and who would have heard in person that he was going to be forced to leave the pro-Israel cause, and they would have left with him, meaning that there would have been a shortage in blood to sacrifice on the altar of greater Israel, because these people, these young men, would not have gone to enlist and go and fight and die or become killing machines in these senseless wars that do nothing to benefit America, our national security interests or economic interests. They don't make you more rich. They don't make you more free. They certainly don't give you any additional individual liberties, and they don't make you safer. They put you in harm's way directly. They have nothing but a detrimental impact on humanity all over the place. And Charlie Kirk, according to text messages that we have screenshots of between Tyler Boyer and other top rankers at TPUSA, they were showing and expressing concern that Charlie Kirk was about to, quote unquote, go ballistic on Trump over his Epstein ties and over these forever wars. And these wars are being fought to protect the Epstein class. All of this goes together. All of this is hand in hand. That's why they killed Charlie Kirk. That's why they want to kill Tucker Carlson. That's why they want to kill Candace Owens. That's why they throttle the hell out of my content and this network all over the place on Rumble, where when you look at their SEC filings, you find BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street, Howard Lutnick, Donald Trump's little Jew man in the corner, his AIPAC handler that belly chuckles every time the Epstein rapes are brought up. The guy who took his own kids to Epstein's pedophile island. That's the guy who lied under oath and said that he broke all ties with Epstein after learning that he was a convicted pedophile, but he didn't. It was after he learned that anyways, he gleefully and with belly chuckles took his children to pedophile island. But you know what? Howard Lutnick is a Jew. And Jewish children don't meet the same fate as the little goyim.
Anyhow.
So the original premise we started talking about back in January is Israel, and then people in the United States Intelligence Agency took out Charlie Kirk because he was too problematic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the other thing that's kind of interesting about this, again, it's all connected. You heard Stu Peters just say it. So, and then, Ro Khanna has been getting in trouble about this. Everybody who uses this term now, they're in big trouble. Emily Jasinski or whatever, Jasinski, I like her. She's really bright, good head on her shoulders, young, sort of right leaning. She'll help us understand this article, which is like, you guys, it's like Netanyahu coming out and saying, I didn't do it when Charlie Kirk got killed. It's like
no one was really asking.
Why do you need to say this?
Here we go. We're going to play this right now.
Politicians such as Representative Ro Khanna have begun to talk about the, quote, Epstein class. The phrase can be taken as an association of exploitative wealth with Jewish identity. So if you use the phrase Epstein class, as many Democrats have done, Republicans like Thomas Massie, it can, quote, be taken as an association of exploitative wealth with Jewish identity. Like I said, over the last, 5 days or so, Roe has been taking a crazy amount of heat for the phrase Epstein class, and people were seriously accusing him of wielding an anti-Semitic phrase in his quest to get maximum transparency in the Epstein case, which is something, again, that was right-coded for a very long time because it was about this group of global elites who were operating an anti-lowercase d democratic effort in the background of the daily news cycle. They're operating on their own, outside of, again, the lowercase d democratic control of their governments, to change world affairs.
Yeah.
So
we could probably leave it there, I guess. She really does a good job with her content. Some is more interesting than others. And at one point, she's a millennial, like just past Gen X. And she talked about music and the differences when her generation, like very compelling. She talks about culture and celebrity, but she also talks a lot about politics. She does news and analysis. She's on Breaking Points. So I really dig the chick. What do you think about that with like the Epstein class is now like anti-Semitic?
Well, they only have so many angles they can use now. So I can see that as like a memo in the background, but they can't overtly say that on CBS or NBC News to classify that as a slur. That's something that you have to really grind out in the background for a long time before it catches on. And it's too fresh. All this stuff is too fresh.
Why wouldn't it be anti-Russian or something, since Epstein was a Russian intelligence asset? He didn't work for Mossad. Everybody told us that. Even though he says in one of his communications, like, I represent the Rothschilds, and he's talking to Peter Thiel, I think, in that one.
Obviously, there's some long play here, and if they didn't want this stuff to come out, it wouldn't have come out. And so there's some.
Well, they're dragging their feet, like they're bringing Pam Bondi in to grill her, and yeah, I get it. Like, is it all pro wrestling and everything? But like they did pass this law, and they did have to go on record, and nobody was going to vote no because nobody wants to be like, I was trying to protect pedophiles. And there's a lot of people making excuses like, this is going to hurt people who aren't related. And it's like, I don't care, man. Throw it all out on the table. If it, say it vindicates you or say if it implicates you. If it's all out on the table, we'll all get to find out.
Yeah, right? I agree, but apparently this is having such a backlash against like Israel and the establishment in general, like the power brokers, really. Why would they want this out? And
of course, that's why they're fighting it. They even said, I saw an article, I think it was yesterday, maybe a day two days
well, yeah,
ago,
but why wasn't
not releasing any more?
Why wouldn't it have been already destroyed at this point? Why wasn't it just destroyed?
Lord knows. I mean, they've got a bunch of this stuff, but they did say that some of it was shredded, some of it was like they can redact it at like Department of Justice, but it was already redacted like before the Department of Justice got it. So like to whatever effect they can destroy it. And then they were talking about these burn bags, that it's not uncommon for intelligence agencies for if they documented it because whatever, they're bureaucrats. They'd be like, well, this stuff, we'll just go out and burn it because we don't need anybody knowing about this.
They could have tied it up into further criminal investigations, and then they don't have to release anything. Say, hey, this is a criminal investigation. We're not releasing any work product, and case closed. That's what they do with UFO stuff that they don't want to talk about. They burn UFO
that
stuff.
Stuff's not real, so they don't worry about that.
Well, be that as it may, but they hold stuff back and they deny the existence of verifiable documents.
Well, and we just talked about the chemtrail thing. Like,
so, yeah, exactly. Why?
How many times have they FOIA'd that only to get like, I don't know what you're talking about?
Exactly. So someone somewhere beyond Congress held on to these files for just such an occasion.
I think their hand was forced. I'm not this everything is fake and gay. I think most things are probably fake and gay, but in this particular case, just like where like Tucker's in on the whole thing, it's like he might be in on like 80% of it. But I think, there's a part of him that's like, nah, man, we're getting really close to the. He was at the White House for like almost, I think it was like 2 to 3, 4, maybe 5 days before the Iran thing kicked off, because Charlie was the one who stopped him the first time. Again, it's all connected.
I want to read that again, Joe Kent.
Yeah.
And that's Trump's National Counterterrorism Center Director. He says exactly, quote, we started this war.
One second. It's stuttering over here. Let me bring this up on screen.
Ruh-roh.
Yeah. And that's Trump's National Counterterrorism Center Director. He says exactly, quote, "We started this war due to pressure from Israel and its powerful American lobby."
And he says that right up front. That's not buried, right? That's like the second paragraph.
The reason I didn't know is that when you see the news headlines, most news headlines didn't even refer to that. They only referred to Iran not being a threat. Most news outlets did not refer to the Israel comment, which says a lot as well.
Right. It does. It does. I mean, this is a reality of Israeli Hezbollah, their policy of public relations, if you will. That really since 1982, following their Lebanon invasion, they have had as a primary focal point. It's not just in the United States and the West influencing governments through campaign contributions, backing opponents in elections, things like that, but also too having a real heavy influence on the media. So what happens in 1982, when Israel invades Lebanon, and it is brutal, it is savage. And the American public is exposed to that. You have the American television networks reporting on just how barbaric the Israeli invasion is in 1982. The political pressure that gets put on Ronald Reagan is immense. And Ronald Reagan calls Israel's prime minister, Menachem Begin, and says, knock it off, stop it. And that's when the Israelis said, okay, obviously our lobby efforts, our media efforts are not nearly where they need to be. They can't be haphazard. It can't be ad hoc. It needs to be organized. It needs to be concrete. It needs to be pointed and direct. And that's where you see the modern Hezbollah program develop following the Israeli invasion of Lebanon, that where we are today, where you have American editors as well as reporters who are afraid to include that point about Kent, saying this is for Israel because of the pushback they will receive. I mean, you see this, we saw this very clearly in the last several years with Western reporting, especially American and British reporting on the genocide in Gaza. And the revolts that were taking place within CNN, the New York Times, the BBC, well publicized, documented, disapproval, if you will, among the staff at those major corporate legacy media operations because their editors were so biased in the coverage of the genocide in Gaza.
All right. Well, that's sad, but interesting, and yeah.
So what he's talking about, and you call these a lie of omission, right? So you're going to tell him that, yeah, Joe Kent resigned, but you're not going to say what he said in the resignation because obviously that implicates further Israel. Now, Joe Kent, as I mentioned before, is the guy who got shut down by Kash Patel for going, I think we should look at foreign involvement in this Charlie Kirk assassination. Kash is like, nope, no. And Kash is also the one who said there's no evidence of child trafficking. It was all just him getting kids for himself. And then obviously we know that that's 100% not true. So Kash Patel, totally compromised. Bongino, his reputation is, it's below the floor. Like it's within the core of the earth at this point. He's such a fucking douchebag. And you don't see Howard Lutnick anymore. Remember? He was like all over the place for a while. And then as soon as people started to realize he was full of shit, like this Epstein thing had to go. And our buddy, Little Ben, he's notorious for saying, obviously, the USS Liberty doesn't matter because it didn't happen. It happened a little later than the Holocaust, but not, you just really don't need to worry about it. And then the JFK thing, don't need to worry about that. There are no Epstein files. Ben Shapiro, he's got sources in the government. There are no files. There's no list. So you can trust everything Ben says. But Joe Kent, the guy who was maybe looking into Charlie Kirk, who was, coming away from the Israel Project despite being a big supporter at the early stages of his life, he was like, whoa, what is going on here? And he has the text messages, Candace does, Stu Peters is talking about it, a lot of people are showing them, Bret Weinstein shows some. Like, all the evidence is there to put this whole thing together to a point. Like, Cash, is there any more evidence you need that maybe Netanyahu, who controls the Mossad, coming out almost immediately and saying we didn't do it? There's nothing to look at? You could at least address that, but that would be just like saying why Joe Kent resigned, that it was on behalf of Israel, which Marco Rubio and others even said, which was basically like, look, Israel was going to do it whether or not we went or not, and we knew Iran's first thing to do would be to strike American targets. So we kind of, our hand was forced, literally.
Makes sense.
The whole thing is so intense.
And as for Howard Lutnick, he was like probably the most visible Secretary of Commerce that I remember. Like, can you remember Biden's? I forget who the guy is. I forget.
No.
Remember Obama's Secretary of Commerce? I don't know who that guy is.
No clue. But Lutnick's over there, belly laughing, like Stu Peters says, like chuckling about 9/11, chuckling about Epstein and everything. Like, what is? I mean, you guys gotta like. This is the thing: is they're so brazen. They know they can just get away with this shit. Apparently.
Yeah, they don't care. I mean, Lutnick has to go into the background a little bit. He can't be out front anymore, at least for a few months until this whole thing blows over, and then he can be back out front.
It's a joke.
So I'm eating into Cretch's time. Just this last little one from Ben, who obviously is 100% right, never lies about any of this stuff.
Okay, let's take a look at Ben. Uncle Ben. Here we go.
Well, this morning, Joe Kent quit his job at the National Counterterrorism Center and issued a scathing letter designed to undermine President Trump. The letter is deeply, deeply conspiratorial. It states openly that, quote, Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation, and it is clear that we started this war due to pressure from Israel and its powerful American lobby. Now, that is conspiracy trash. It's also kind of strange since President Trump has said that it's conspiracy trash. So apparently,
that doesn't make it
Trump
true.
is so deeply enthralled to those strange, powerful American lobbies. We're not going to say it. That he apparently has been so bamboozled by them that he's still under the impression that he's his own man. But here's the thing. President Trump is his own man. He makes his own decisions. And as per our usual arrangement, Trump's critics are cowards who are simply unwilling to acknowledge that Trump is the one making the call. But Joe Kent continued, quote, early in this administration, high-ranking Israeli officials and influential members of the American media deployed a misinformation campaign that wholly undermined your America First platform and sowed pre-war sentiments to encourage a war with Iran. This echo chamber was used to deceive you into believing that Iran posed an imminent threat to the United States and that should you strike now, there was a clear path to a swift victory. This was a lie and is the same tactic the Israelis used to draw us into the disastrous Iraq war that cost our nation the lives of thousands of our best men and women. Again, the idea here seems to be that President Trump is a moron, misled into war by nefarious Israelis and unnamed influential members of the American media. Don't say it. Again, apparently, President Trump has no agency and no thoughts. Kent's letter is replete with this conspiratorial idiocy, including, as we just saw, the idea that it was Israel that forced the original Iraq war, an idea totally and utterly unsupportable by any evidence, given the fact that the actual prime minister of Israel at the time, Ariel Sharon, opposed the Iraq war. This stuff is brain rot. Now listen, we should all be thankful for Joe Kent's long and honorable military service. We can also be glad that he's leaving, since his ideology is the same as that of Tucker Carlson, the guy who says that the war is disgusting and evil and who has been busy sexting with the mullahs. Tucker Carlson calls Kent a personal friend and, quote, the bravest man I know. Frankly, I think that it is a good thing that Kent is not in this position. We cannot have a director of counterterrorism who is somehow advocating preemptive surrender to the world's leading state sponsor of terrorism in the middle of a war.
Wow, that's a big story.
God, could you, like, again, who are the people still listening? It's like him and Mark Levin listen to each other's show. That's about it. You know what I mean? Like
the neocons, neocon light, maybe. We're playing it. So it's getting hits there. Getting some traction.
But these are just people like grabbing these clips. We're not giving them actual traffic. Nobody goes to their website. Like it was a few weeks ago when people were looking at the metrics with the publicly available data. And they're just hemorrhaging. Like, everybody's against them. I was going to do a section on just the comment sections, like Saturday. That was my that was going to be my presentation, was essentially what the Zionists on Twitter are saying and what the comments are doing. And it's just like, dude, it's over. It's over. We all see it.
Well, that's why they know they got to do what they got to do right now, or else it's not going to happen in next term.
Exactly right.
You know? So
just like Weinstein said.
Yeah, they're just hedging their bets. Like, Dad, we got to do it now, or it's not going to happen, boys.
Bloodthirsty monsters.
And so they're going for it.
Let's do it. Shut up. Sorry.
All right, Chris, are you ready to shine? C-note?
I just want to point out, it's interesting that when Ben Shapiro reads those comments, and then he just says things like, that is false, and then he just moves on. It's like, wait, you can't just say that.
He said it, so it's not true.
Gotcha.
Like politicians don't lie. Like, just because someone says something doesn't make it true. They just said something. The Prime Minister of Israel can simultaneously lie publicly, but behind the scenes be really for the Iraq war. Two things can be true.
That is false.
Ben Shapiro famously said that the USS Liberty thing was like, it was a big oopsie. We've talked about it on the show. Like,
Wrong.
He was just like, there's no conspiracy. It was a big oopsie. Dude, it was like hours worth of like sustained attack.
Incorrect.
All you got to do is just say it's false or incorrect, and that's your argument. I love it.
Wrong.
What a little weasel.
All right, Cratchit, let's do this. Come on.
Stop the hammering.
I think I'm going to go back and find that part in that video that Joe shared where Shapiro just says, that is false. We'll just play that at random times.
That's all you need.
Good enough for me.
Wrong.
All right, let's see. What do we got here? We got stuff going back from last week. All this crazy stuff.
Incorrect.
Is there anything in here?
What kind of news we got over there, man?
We got today's news here. You want to talk about Epstein? That's funny.
It's lighthearted stuff, you know. At this point, it is lighthearted.
Just some casual, lighthearted news.
Yeah.
No. Did you know that witches managed to release the Epstein files?
I had a feeling about that.
Great. Yeah.
Yes, from cauldrons to Congress, inside a Denver ritual to release the Epstein files.
This is quite the story.
Yes, Denver protesters burned onions, oregano, and incense at the Cheesman Park Pavilion on Saturday, March 14th, in a ritual to inspire the full release of the unredacted government files on sex criminal and shamed financier Jeffrey Epstein. Quote, truth, not lies from pedophiles, chanted the circle of 18 people. I demand release the Epstein files. So they got themselves a nice little slogan right there. Not bad. The ritual is one of the latest creative endeavors put together by the Trash Heap Collective, a group that frequents Denver protests and likes to embrace the weird side. But adding spirituality to local demonstrations is nothing new. Denver protesters seek fresh ways to call out President Donald Trump and his questionable association with Jeffrey Epstein. The Trash Heap Collective is best represented by its main MC, JoJo, who dresses in colorful suits and posts oddball gonzo-style coverage of protests on YouTube, Instagram, and Reddit. Interesting.
Oh, really?
That sounds like it's a little young Alex Jones in the making, little JoJo over there. Here's their seance. They got a guy in a wheelchair at the seance. I don't know if that's appropriate. Unless they're going to sacrifice him, then that might work.
Or that person can get up and walk away. You know.
And you think he's faking? Maybe.
No, I think they're going to, the seance will restore, restorative powers, restore their ability to walk.
Nah, that makes sense. See
By the way, in that photo of all those people sitting there, it says 18 people.
Mm-hmm.
What number of the 18 people do you think are gainfully employed?
2? Maybe 4?
Well,
statistically, it's 5.6.
They're probably on disability, Cratchit. I mean, give them a break.
They hurt their back 17 years ago and haven't been able to work.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, your tax dollars are supporting this, buddy.
Tremendous chest pains.
It goes on to say, documents released to the media showed that Trump had long ties to Epstein.
Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Don't care about any of that. More interest in them, like, it was an article about that, then they changed, and now they're just talking about Trump. But.
Let's see here. The group circled around a small tapestry on the ground displaying vendoras, flowers, herbs, salts, and onions, among other sacraments. The small circle of spiritualists fed each one into a cauldron with a flame inside as Bradley, I guess we've totally skipped over Bradley's part in this, Bradley led the chant and told the small audience to think about the children's victims of Epstein's actions. Some people even called on Satan for help, but Bradley said the ritual was just meant to call on our ancestors for protection and punishment. So someone just kind of threw in a Satan chant just for shits and giggles, I guess.
I like to think someone's trolling them, like, I'm going to go to this protest. Just yell Satan.
Yeah. Never have too many.
Maybe.
I mean, Santa. Sorry, I misread that.
There are probably some Satanists in there. That's probably, it's kind of what this stuff draws sometimes, so understandable. That the sacraments were meant to provide protection and purification against evil forces like Epstein, Bradley explained, adding that she relied on a type of witchcraft called baneful magic, which uses spells and hexes for punishment against people who are heavily implicated in the Epstein files, including Trump. One of the spells involves writing the names of people on oregano leaves and burning them in a cauldron to burn the tongues of liars. Okay.
Huh.
All right.
I just want to point out in that photo, I'm looking at that photo of the 18 people sitting there again. On the right side of that photo.
You're talking about, the 18 people, right side of the photo. I'm going back up.
So there's a woman there. I'm assuming it was a woman. I probably shouldn't assume gender these days, but
correct.
She's wearing those big
Jenkos.
Jenko pants.
Raver
she's
pants.
Go out and dance.
Yeah.
She's also wearing a mask outside.
That is correct. Yeah. Okay. Good observation.
So this person is just full of good choices in her life. Congratulations.
I was looking at, this is Bradley, Jennifer Bradley. She's got a little bit of a gut. I will say that for people listening at home. Not that has anything to do with her ritual ability or spellcasting ability.
It does have something to do with her poor choice of clothing because apparently she forgot to wear a shirt this day.
She's not buttoning that last button, and that's an important button for larger Americans.
Has that button given up?
Oh, he's like, hell with this. I'm out of here.
Towel.
Maybe.
Made a run for it.
They go on to, I think this is where the chant begins. Donald Trump has spoken lies, the group chanted with Bradley. Reveal them now before my eyes.
Huh.
Okay.
We got a lot of milk.
Epstein's name has become synonymous with the most immoral corruption imaginable after his final arrest in 2019. Yeah, we know that. We know that story.
I like how all the news stories where they mention Epstein have to give some sort of backgrounder.
Yeah, like people aren't familiar at this point. Let's see here. Epstein's name. Okay. Epstein died by suicide in his New York jail. I don't know if that's. Come on. This article's indulging in that nonsense. But plenty of people doubt that he actually killed himself or even that he's even really dead. Okay. In fact, one person showed up dressed as Epstein wearing a gray wig and an orange jumpsuit while holding a giant sandwich board that said Epstein Files and claimed that he had just got in from Tel Aviv, playing off the internet theories that Epstein is alive and protected in Israel.
Yeah. So now they're just describing internet memes.
Yeah, this is what people are saying
in
on
another
Twitter.
Funny video, a cat jumps up on a table and knocks glasses off.
Wear a costume. Just reenact that at the ritual. Well, interesting. I like that the witches are getting involved. Remember, the witches got involved and claimed, I guess, influence over Charlie Kirk's assassination. There was a coven of witches that claimed that.
Oh, and they backed off on that real
quick. They took down the article. They ignored any sort of reference to that whatsoever. I think Jezebel covered that story, and they deleted that. It's probably a bad look, but they also people are looking for reasons, and at that point in time, it was a very sensitive time, and I wonder if they have since maybe re-uploaded it or enabled that. So, all right, Cretchen, that was a great story. I love that one. We're gonna move on and see what else you got over there.
You may start by unzipping your dress.
All right. This one kind of delving into some Joe territory here, but I'm going to bring it up anyway. Oops. Let me get this in a carrot shop for you. This is the archive version. Let me know if that link works for you. It's got some weird shit going on there. This is from The Verge. Did you know Benjamin Netanyahu is entirely made of AI these days?
I did hear this, yes.
Yeah.
And they keep releasing more videos to prove it, and each one just keeps getting worse.
Dude, it's hilarious.
So, yeah, Benjamin Netanyahu is struggling to prove he's not an AI clone. Proof of life videos would stand up better in a world where we can actually trust our eyes.
Man, I got mixed emotions about this one.
Hell of a headline right there. That is a crazy headline.
Perfect headline.
Social media platforms are currently awash with conspiracy theories claiming that Benjamin Netanyahu has been killed or injured and replaced by AI-generated deep fakes between clips that supposedly show the Israeli prime minister sporting extra fingers and drinking from bottomless gravity-defying cups of coffee. Only one thing is apparent. Reality used to be much easier to prove. That is true.
Okay.
It is, I mean, yeah, it's hard to claim any sort of credible video out there. It really is. There's at least there's very little credible evidence to suggest that Netanyahu isn't alive. But
you can't prove a negative, but it's not helping when they keep releasing. What's the newest one? Him at a meeting of his war council, and all the desks and the vents are all out of whack in different sizes and stuff.
Oh, I'd love to see that picture.
I thought I grabbed some, but they also had because Mike Huckabee and Netanyahu were like goofing on it, like Trump asked me to come check and make sure you were alive, and then in that one he had like these giant ears with two different ear holes on the same side. It was like crazy. And then people started putting the clips together of them in the same space, and they're playing guitars, and then they're making out and all this stuff. So it's like, it's so funny.
Well, to be fair to Huckabee, he's always kind of looked like AI. He's always been a kind of like a goofy looking guy. So,
and he
by the way, the
like
number one
search
out
with Netanyahu.
Number one search on Bing for that. You type Netanyahu, first result, Netanyahu death. So there's a lot of people searching for that.
Whoopsie daisy.
I'm not cheering for his death there. I'm just cheering for the search result.
There's plenty of people cheering for the death.
I'm sure. I'm not one of these people. I don't wish harm.
Hey, everybody flies to Germany right before the start of a war.
Of course, it's beautiful this time of year. Isn't it? Probably not.
I like to get my tickets to Oktoberfest early. I camp out. So he's there 5 months early, 6 months early.
Well, Netanyahu, in an attempt to put the AI clone conspiracies to rest, Netanyahu published a video on his X account yesterday showing him inside a coffee shop. Case closed. That's it. If he's inside a coffee shop.
Case closed. Time to move on.
Yeah.
Case closed. Time to move on.
People have pointed out that coffee shop is like on the coast.
Oh.
And supposedly Netanyahu is in Jerusalem running the war. So.
It goes on to say, but asking a person behind the counter to count his fingers. So he's going up to people like, how many fingers do I have?
Count my fingers.
2? Don't believe the 5.6.
Some of the comments have merit pointing to movements within the video that show liquid moving unnaturally within the coffee cup in Netanyahu's hand, the ring on his finger seemingly vanishing and out of the skin that surrounds it, though that could also be explained by video degradation. The background environment itself has also been called into question. The till on the counter appears to be a display date from 2024, for example. So there's anomalies. There's plenty of video anomalies to call into question whether or not Netanyahu is really in the coffee shop or if he sent his AI clone into the coffee shop. We don't know. Or is the coffee shop even real? Who knows? Where are we coming down on this? I think he's still alive.
I think the flight to Germany is weird. That to me says he's going to see a medical specialist for some sort of treatment or something or other. That's a strange thing. Also, didn't Germany have a thing where Netanyahu was declared a war criminal, and so by the International Criminal Court or whatever, and Germany's a signatory to that. So shouldn't they have arrested him as soon as he landed?
See, they must have forgot about that.
And like Joe said, it doesn't help when you take one of these videos and you then, real or not, you make AI versions of the start of that video, so it looks real, and now they're doing all sorts of goofy stuff, and now you can't tell what's real and what's not.
Yeah, it's a crazy, fun reality, but at the same time, very unnerving. You got to have a good sense of humor about this stuff. If you're trying to find like the truth right now, don't try. Just give up.
Give up.
All right, Cratchit. You got anything else? Yeah, you want to say about this? Should we move on?
Not on this. No. I got all sorts of other stuff out here.
That's good.
All right, let's see. Let's go with this one. I grabbed this one because this is kind of right up Joe's alley as far as he's a big fan of restaurants and food doing things correct, and he enjoys the Mexican restaurants in San Antonio.
Chachos,
his favorite. Here's one in New York where somebody said, "You know what? That food is too spicy. I'm going to sue."
Oh, good. It's about time. A tourist sued Taqueria.
Yes, that's exactly how you say it.
Am I right?
Taqueria.
I'm
not even looking at it, but I can guess that's how you were.
That's exactly what it is.
Incorrect.
Or Taqueria.
Taqueria over spicy salsa. A judge says spice is the point. So it doesn't sound like the judge is being non-biased here, but we'll read.
Okay.
There's a news story here, Cratchit, and it's not.
I did not vet this news story. I think it's fake.
Wrong.
No, it is fake. It looks like they're talking about chicken there, but a New York City taqueria.
There you go.
Is no longer in hot water after a judge ruled against a German tourist who sued the restaurant for selling salsa that allegedly was dangerously spicy. Okay.
By the way, Dangerously Spicy is a fantastic name for an album.
That's an opinion statement. Like some people here in America, we like the stuff hot. I'm not one of them, but we have Joe over there, J-Bone. He would eat that one chip challenge like it's nothing. So did Cratchit.
Challenge, yeah. I just make nachos out of that.
Everyone calm down.
I had a little bit more difficult time.
Everyone stay calm.
I did not navigate that challenge as successfully as the other two gentlemen here. But this German man, probably a guy after me, his name's Fake Out Mans, sued Los Tacos #1 for $100,000 in damages after he allegedly experienced gastrointestinal problems. Oh, yeah. I got
a bunch of spicy food, and it was spicy.
I got to say, I sympathize with him.
I'm going to go to the bathroom.
He also, in addition to...
was taken from the can.
In addition to gastrointestinal problems, he also experienced high blood pressure and emotional distress from eating spicy salsa at the New York City restaurant.
I got to go to the bathroom.
I think this is the most absurd thing ever because, like, eating salsa, period, eating food at a restaurant is all voluntary. Who the fuck is this pussy? How old is this person?
Maybe we'll find out.
He was forced at gunpoint, Joe.
Yeah. He probably was dared. Anytime you eat something you don't really want to, it's probably because it's a dare. But
Hans, I dare you to eat the salsa.
Mans, a sales engineer from Germany visiting New York City at the time, alleged that the restaurant failed to warn customers about the spiciness of the salsas. After eating them, Mans also said that he had tongue blisters. Now that's crazy.
I gotta go to the bathroom real quick.
However, U.S. District Judge Dale Ho last month sided with Lost Tacos, probably taking big taco money, probably a payoff. But he wrote an opinion that the spiciness is often the point of salsa. Oh, that's not true. There's a variety of spiciness to different salsa. You have like standard restaurant salsa, which is kind of soupy, more of a maybe even you can say quasi pico de gallo, which is not really spicy. There's, I don't think this judge knows salsa at all. He should have brought in some of the salsa from the restaurant, had the judge try it and say,
yeah.
Try it.
Can I get the sampler?
Yeah.
Here's can we get more chips and salsa?
Well,
yeah, I would like a flight of salsa choices.
That's right.
USA Today reached out to Mans and Lost Tacos #1 for comment on the March 12th ruling, but did not immediately receive responses. What is this guy?
Go to the part where it says in the complaint.
In the complaint, Mans said he wanted to eat tacos while on vacation. Oh, like we're some sort of like novelty here in America. We amuse you. No.
Hey, when I want when I want really good tacos, I go to New York City.
Well, they probably got some good joints there. I'm not going to... They got great pizza. They probably have okay tacos.
So read that sentence again and then read the follow-up part of it, which makes it even worse to Joe's point about he did this voluntarily.
So in the complaint, Mans wanted to eat tacos while on vacation in New York City in August 2024 because there was no possibility for me to eat tacos in my small German hometown. All right.
Fuck them.
Well, then you don't get tacos ever. You don't. I'm sorry. After finding the restaurant online, he went to Lost Tacos #1 and purchased 3 tacos. Man said he then added 2 types of salsa from the restaurant's self-service area. Oh,
again, voluntary.
Voluntary. And it probably were labeled, but this dumb German can't speak English.
Yeah, it said mild, spicy, hot, nuclear, not for the Germans.
Or it was in our second language, Spanish here. So you got to learn one. Upon eating the food topped with salsa, Mans said his tongue and mouth began to burn immediately. That's no good. You don't want that because it's tough to taste the rest of your food. I sympathize with him. It's not good. And his Apple Watch registered an elevated pulse. Oh, that's not good when your tacos register. When your tacos register on your Apple Watch, you know you're eating something.
What do you want to
powerful.
bet? So he's at the self-service salsa bar, and there's some there that's like they call it nuclear or something, and he tries this. He puts a spoonful of that on his taco. What do you want to bet that's what happened?
Probably something like that. Yes, and like he got dared. Like was he? It's not immediately clear if he went there by himself. So he tries his salsa. Looked like some big tough German, and he got taken down.
Big tough German.
Yeah. That's
what I want. Kicking around Polish people. Get out of here.
Eats his salsa. Quote, for someone like me living in Germany and eating nothing spicy, it was a very big shock physically and mentally, man said in the complaint. Yeah, I'm sure it was. Welcome to America.
Huh?
Who sided with Lost Tacos #1 in part because Mans failed to prove that the restaurant acted negligently. Additionally, he did not provide any evidence that that other customers being injured by the salsa. Well, did he ask? The judge also wrote that the restaurant is not responsible for injuries stemming from customers' idiosyncratic characteristics of the salsa. So, okay. The judge is using fancy lawyer words to diminish this guy's
fancy law talk over there. Yeah. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know about that, but this guy is not doing good.
Sue everybody. Read the last two sentences there is the best part.
The spicy salsa was apparently
no, the one before that.
Oh, Mexican food, and more specifically salsa, is often spicy, Judge Ho wrote. In fact, when it comes to salsa, the spice is often the point. I thought, the flavor, adding a little something extra.
Yes, it's a combination that you want there to be a flavor that's remarkable, and the point of the heat is just some people really like it. There's a whole YouTube channel devoted to that. It was like Hot Ones.
The Hot Ones, yeah.
Punitive
They
damages
interview
here.
people. But so when I do salsas, a lot of times they'll do samples and you'll buy them, or you'll go to a restaurant, you get a little fork, you get a little spoon. If they have multiple salsas, you try each one, or like, because I'm not going to commit to dumping a certain amount of salsa on a taco if there's 3 in front of me and I don't know which one I'm going to like. You know what I mean? Is this German that stupid? It'd be the same as like mustard. Like, do I like the horseradishy one? Do I like the brown and coarse one? Like, I'm not going to go to Germany and get, pissed off about the poor mustard decisions I make.
Let's do it.
By the way, Poor Mustard
Sauerkraut
Decisions is also a good name for an album.
Yeah.
Mustard Decisions?
No.
Okay.
All right.
We just need to start a band.
Let's do one more, Gretchen. We got time for one more amazing story. Here we go.
We need to obey the first law of holes.
Step 1, don't put salsa in there.
Yeah.
Joe, you shared this. I don't know if you want to run this zombie one or if that.
I just was pointing it out to you. Okay. It's up to you.
So I got a good choice for you guys. We got a listicle about the least expensive and most expensive food prices at Major League Baseball parks. We like covering how ridiculously expensive or not it can be to have a beer at some of these places. Or we have one of my pet peeves, people dressing like slobs. And now, so you've got Ruth's Chris Steakhouse coming out and saying, you have to actually dress up appropriately to come into our restaurant.
I kind of like that one.
Yeah. I didn't know that you need to be told that. Dude, that's like what, $40 just for starting?
Well, it depends on how big of a salsa flight you get there.
They might have an endless bread basket like Olive Garden.
I'm just here for the bread basket and water.
Yeah.
Keep bringing it. By the way, I was traveling again this weekend, and now I've seen people we talked about this a few weeks ago, people dressed in their pajamas and all that stuff. I saw an entire family wearing matching like designer fleece pajamas from little kids all the way up to mom and dad. Just like clearly they bought these clothes, matching clothes, to wear on the airplane because I need to be comfortable on a plane.
This is bullshit.
To thumb their nose at the TSA in their provocative tweet from a few weeks ago. But we're sorry you had to endure that, Gretchen. But I know
it was. I was emotionally traumatized. I'm going to have to sue a taco restaurant.
Find Judge Ho. Well, here's another headline here.
Judge Ho.
Ruth Chris Steakhouse cracks down on customer dress code. Not everyone is happy about this.
Oh, really?
So Ruth Chris Steakhouse has a long history, an interesting story about its name and reputation for serving high-quality steaks. Now, it seems the restaurant wants its customers to reflect that high-quality benchmark. The steakhouse website has long assured customers that the smart casual attire is strictly optional, as long as no undergarments or offensive language were on display. Jeans and a nice shirt would work fine. However, the restaurant has recently put up a notice on its website stating that a business casual dress code is now required.
Okay.
Taking it up a notch. I kind of like that. I kind of like it. It's unknown exactly. It's unknown when the exactly the policy went up, but it explains that that hats are not allowed in the dining area. If you're found to be wearing one, you'll be asked to move to the bar area. Dining room guests are instructed to dress properly by avoiding gym wear, pool attire, and tank tops. I guarantee they've had all this, like the same family wear all that stuff at one time, and they're like, we got to cut this out.
What if it's really nice gym wear? It's like a really good like Dan Marino's football jersey. It's really nice.
We cannot do that, dude. No. This is Ruth Chris. We've got to have standards.
Nah, bro.
We can't do this. Because once you start going a little light on that, then next thing you know, they are going to be wearing their underoos in there. They're going to be wearing their sweatpants.
Their underoos.
Yeah, whatever they got.
No.
My Spider-Man underoos. That's for a nice night.
This news has the internet divided, with some feeling uncomfortable with restrictions. Well, just don't go there then. Some find the rules offensive, with one commenter saying the dress code is specifically directed at or directed towards certain people, which in this day and age is deplorable.
Racism.
They are trying to create an atmosphere.
Say it.
They're trying to create an atmosphere that intimidates people and drives them away. Another quip.
Yeah, you can't afford pants.
Basically.
Get out.
Maybe they should think about upgrading the quality of their food first.
Nah, bro.
On the other hand, some welcome the reminder, with one person saying, thank God a return to decorum for a much too casual society. It's okay to not wear your baseball cap in some settings. It's all right to dress up once in a while. Another applauded the restrictions, saying it's about time that the restaurants crack down on the dress code at fine dining establishments. I agree. I kind of like it. Like, I don't mind a dress code, and typically your spouse likes to dress up a little bit, so why not? Go for it.
We're dressing up tonight, honey. I've got my new Yankees cap. The bill is still perfectly flat. We're good to go.
Yeah.
And my pajamas with a flap in the back so I can poop in them.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
My Adidas track wear with the stripes.
Yeah, that's the jersey, Ruth's Chris. I think I've talked about it on the show. I know I love telling this story, but when we were kids, like, going to Red Lobster meant you had to dress up.
That was a big deal. Yeah.
Big deal. And in Mexico, and I asked David about this, and he's like, in fact, yes, if you go to Chuck E. Cheese, you put on your Sunday best.
Yeah, I maybe that was just more of a thing back in the 80s, 90s, where if you're going out to eat, like almost like as long as it's a sit-down restaurant and not like fast food, you kind of pick it up a notch.
I like how you use the phrase sit-down restaurant.
Yeah. I that's how it was
I'm not
brought up.
Stand there and eat a burger at a window.
I was told to go put on a shirt with a collar on it. Go put a polo on, a button down.
That's racist, Mike.
I'm just
You're
telling
part
you.
of the problem.
The other thing is, like, in Austin, Austin's a super casual place because it's Texas. It's like wear whatever you want. But there are places there that have dress codes. And so if you were going to go to some of these places that are kind of fancy, you do have to call ahead and be like, can I wear my jorts? Because a lot of places won't let you in.
Can I wear my rhinestone necklace?
Just wash my Jankos. Can I wear them?
What about my 10-gallon hat and my assless
so I put a
chaps?
I put a link in Carrot Shop if you want to take a look. This is from their website. This is they call it their first-time visitor's guide. So they literally have to spell out how to dress appropriately on their website. If you scroll down, it's about halfway down. It says what to wear.
What do I got to wear?
And this is what people are objecting over.
Many of our guests enjoy dressing up for their meal, donning smart casual or even semi-formal attire, but this is entirely optional. You might see guests in everything from jeans and a nice top to a cocktail dress or a suit and tie. We want everyone to feel comfortable, so whether you want to dress up or keep it casual, you'll fit right in at Ruth's Chris. I don't know. This doesn't seem that harsh. Did they update the language after internet backlash?
Oh, keep going.
In an effort to maintain a family-friendly environment, we kindly ask our guests to refrain from wearing clothing with offensive graphics or language. So no like Calvin Peen on anything, and no Tasmanian Devil kind of.
No Big Johnson shirts.
Yeah, co-ed naked swimming.
Wear my FBI polo.
Your 8-ball jacket. Additionally, exposed undergarments, cutoff shorts, and tank tops are not considered appropriate attire. If you're
Please don't let your ass hang out of your shorts.
Pretty much. We don't see butt crack here. If you're sporting a hat or a team support jersey.
I mean sports. That's a weird. Team support jersey?
The sports jersey. That's what I'm imagining. We welcome you to wear them in our bar or outdoor or areas.
We welcome you to wear them elsewhere. Get the hell out.
Get out of here. Go to the place where all the smokers are and the other ruffians. However, we do request that guests remove their hats upon entering the dining areas. This is traditional chivalry dining. This is old school stuff. I appreciate it.
I'm going to go wear my my Jankos, my Big Johnson T-shirt, and I'm going to order my steak well done with ketchup.
I remember, this is the same kind of stuff that they implemented at the Brown Derby. You know, like I think there's maybe like 4 brown derbies left, but that's like an upscale kind of steak place too. And I remember that they had a dress code.
By the way, we have an update from Short Fuse in the Discord. He said they wouldn't sit him or his son for his birthday dinner 4 years ago because his son was wearing a flannel shirt.
Good.
Fuck him.
Dress your kid.
Mike's on board. Get out.
Yeah.
We don't want your kind in here.
Yeah.
You take that flannel shirt outside where it belongs.
Was it his birthday? Good. Cancel his birthday. Your kid probably learned a very valuable lesson that day.
Yeah, Short Fuse. Go buy your kid some clothes.
These prices ain't that bad.
So where did Short Fuse, if you're in the chat, where did you guys go instead? You got kicked out of Ruth Chris. Where was you? Where was your back?
Where you got salsa.
Oh, okay.
Do they have salsa at Ruth's, Chris?
They have
Probably. You can bring your own salsa.
I'm looking at
Yeah, can you bring your own salsa?
Spicy cream sauce and the shrimp voodoo.
I can get a gift card right now at Ruth Chris. $5 gift cards. Send now. All right, people. We'll be back on Saturday. Given that there's no windstorms, fingers crossed that we're finally getting into spring here in Ohio, and this cold, and it started just blizzarding. Like there's a whiteout a few days ago. It was crazy. It's absolutely crazy here. So we'll be back on Saturday at noon. We'll be talking about missing people. There's a series of missing people that pretty interesting. We'll go over that and whether ding-dong news may come up between now and then.
By the way, Short Fuse said they still ate there. They had to eat at the bar where they had burgers.
Relegated to the bar. Yep. Okay.
I tend to like sitting at the bar.
Yeah, me too. You get good service typically.
Yeah, I think you get better service.
Yes.
They can't ignore you. They can't walk by and be like, I got other things to do, like the servers on the floor.
Yep. Bars has got a good energy.
Bartender has nowhere to hide.
Good energy at the bar typically.
Totally.
And TVs, because I can't eat meals without watching TV.
That's the one thing I do not like.
Wrong. Can't seem to eat dinner without a TV in front of me.
I like to watch. I sit at the bar and watch cooking shows that they have on.
Like watching
Guy Fieri.
Diners and what was the show that
Diner Dives and Trash Holes with Guy Fieri.
That's right.
Well, thank you, Joe. Thank you, Cratchit. Thank you, everyone. Shablagoo.
Keep watching the skis. It's chemtrails. Totally not real.
I don't think it's going to happen.
1970 and 40.
We're all getting killed here.
That's about all.
Shablagoo. Sit, Ubu, sit. Good dog.
Till next time, take care of yourself and each other.
Well, now you know the rest of the story.